Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today we're going to talk about Jake Fraley signing a big league contract, as well as some pre-arbitration bonuses that were given out to some top 100 prospects this off season, as well as we're going to talk about a couple little minor updates with Tropicana Field and kind of where the city of St. Petersburg stands with the Trop. But to kind of just jump straight into things, we're going to start off by talking about Jake Fraley. So he was signed by the Rays for cash considerations a couple weeks ago, and then he was DFA'd by the Rays last week, and then through some contract negotiations through the grapevine, however Neander did it, Jake Fraley re-signs with the Rays on a 1-year, $3 million big league contract with $400,000 in incentives that are based on days that he's on the active roster. So we all know kind of how Neander and Cash and everybody likes to send up and send down everybody in the organization at some point during the season. It feels like so him kind of getting that the bonus depending on how many days he's on the active big league roster is that's kind of the most interesting part to me because I know from a race perspective, we need a lot of help with the outfield, and that's kind of where we've been. I feel that's where we've mostly been shifting all of our offseason focus is where we're going from an outfield perspective, and I think getting Rayleigh in the first place, or getting Fraley, sorry, Fraley, misspoke, getting Fraley in the first place, and then DFAing him, and then re-signing him for $3 million is interesting, and I think that was just contract manipulation, getting him on a friendly contract that the club wanted to begin with, and so I don't I don't hate the move. I do think Jake Fraley personally can be a big help to our outfield room, especially with his bat, and so I like the signing, and I like he's on a big league contract. He's going to be on the 40 man. He's probably going to break the opening day roster as it seems to fit as of right now. But what's really interesting to me is the active bonus for days on the active roster. And the reason why I say this is because I know that Neander and company like to send up and like to bring up and send down people in our organization to kind of manipulate service times and things of that nature. So I'm really curious to see what they kind of do with that bonus. I mean, at the end of the day, 400K is half of a big league minimum salary. So it's one of those things where it's not a necessarily big chunk of change, but if they can save any sorts of money here and there, I would not be surprised to see him sent up and down and use the maximum of his options possible, and even possibly kind of IL stints with minor injuries and things of that nature where you usually wouldn't see a guy go on IL, and kind of try to manipulate it that way. So I am curious to see kind of how they go from there with him. But I do like the signing. I think it's a great pickup. But I would really like to see another kind of big signing from an outfield perspective with hopefully maybe a Kyle Tucker, which I don't really think that it's kind of going to be plausible at this point, especially after spending $3 million on Fraley here. But I would like to see that, or maybe even a back end bullpen piece guy. But we'll see where he goes from there and kind of see how he sticks on the major league roster throughout the season. But now I kind of want to transition over to some pre-arbitration bonuses. So every year there's bonuses paid out to the top 100 prospects, and this year is a $50 million pre-arbitration bonus pool, and Junior Caminero got the 10th highest amount of dollars. So he's getting paid an extra $1,068,739 this season, which is fantastic for him. I'm so happy for him to get that. That's that's more than double what his current contract is. So that's really exciting for a guy like that. And it's kind of one of those things also where it just at the end of the day it helps the players out, and it helps players' families out, and especially at a guy at his caliber. has done nothing but earn that money, and Aranda is getting $354,177. Pepio is getting $303,898, and Mangum is getting $236,310. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things I just love to see. I mean, it's guys, especially those four, have earned it. They have done nothing but produce for the Rays, and I'm really happy for them and excited for them to be able to get that money. And it's nice to see guys, or sorry, I misspoke earlier. It's not the top 100 prospects, it's the top 100 arbitration eligible players. So before they're eligible to go into arbitration, the top 100 players get a share of money from a $50 million bonus pool to kind of offset kind of where they're at, like from a playing standpoint, to kind of help them get extra money where they've earned it based on their play. So Caminero, pretty much just statistically being the 10th best pre-arbitration player, gets that chunk of change over $1 million, which is really nice for him. Pepio, Mangum, Aranda, they've all earned it too. I think Aranda's would be higher if he didn't get hurt halfway through the season this past year. And then I'm curious to just kind of see where Simpson lands when he's eligible, because I think that him statistically wise is going to be up there as well. He's going to be kind of on par with where Mangum's at right now too. So also the kind of the last thing I want to talk about is just some kind of Tropicana field updates. So as many people know, the last panel on the roof was officially placed on the Trop this week, which is massive news. I'm honestly surprised they got it done this quick, because with how construction works these days, it usually takes them 10 years to accomplish something that should be done in 3. So I understand that it's from a city's perspective, it's probably one of their top priorities because it's one of the biggest thing that brings in money for the city. So I commend them for that. It looks great. It looks like nothing ever happened. They completely replaced everything. I'm curious to kind of see how the inside ends up looking after they're done with everything, replacing all the turf, replacing all of these things on the inside. And another thing I did see was the St. Pete mayor this week kind of came out and said that he thinks that a Rays return to the Trop past their lease is going to be kind of inevitable. And that's intriguing to me because I honestly personally agree with him, because we're approaching 2026. I mean, it is November 25th and we have zero plans for a new stadium. Well, let me take that back. We have the plans for a new stadium. We just There's zero set in stone. We have no idea where it's going to be at. We have no idea location, set in stone plans and foundations and anything. There has been zero ground made. And for the Trop's lease to be up in 2028, that being 2 years from now, it's interesting to me to kind of grasp kind of just the thought of being able to even play at a new stadium. So I'm intrigued to kind of where they kind of go from there, but I do think that the Rays will most likely end up extending this lease with the Trop for at least another year or two, if that's possible. I'm not sure kind of how the city of St. Pete's going to go around with shopping out those leases for such short term, but I'm intrigued to, even if they decide to build in St. Pete, kind of right around that like gas district around there. So I'm curious to see kind of what they do with that. You guys let me know what you think, especially with where we kind of stand with where you think the Trop and where the Rays are going to play in the next coming seasons after the lease is up. Let me know what you guys think, and you guys have a great day.